Lisa,
Yes, baby girl.
when I grow up, I want to be a menace to society.
Then so shall you be. Hey, this is Lisa Landry. Welcome back to A Menace to Society. I'm thrilled to speak with today's guest. She is an amazingly funny comedian, and we've been introduced through a friend. She plays all over the Sun Valley in Phoenix in California. Please welcome to the podcast, Danielle Diva Williams.
What's up, Sugar Bear?
How you doing? I'm so happy that you're here. How are you doing? You know, our friend Richard was the person who told me, like, you have to know about this woman. Look at what she's accomplishing. And I looked at your reel and I watched your videos on YouTube. And I want to know how you're doing because you're the one who's funny and battling cancer.
Yes, it has been a daunting task, but I have to tell you, I am feeling so much better. I'm 8 months in. I found out the day before Thanksgiving, November 21st, 2018, after, just being super healthy, because I used to work out all the time, eat right, just watch my weight. And then all of a sudden my back started hurting like crazy, and then I just couldn't do things. And I said, something has to be wrong. Went to the doctor, they did an MRI on my back, and they found 3 lesions on my spine. And then next thing you know, my doctor says, yeah, you got stage 4 lung cancer. It started in your lungs, but unfortunately it spread to your lower spine. It's in your pelvis, and it was on the top of my right shoulder going down the side of my arm. So it was a mess, girl. It was a mess.
And you're very young.
Girl, I am 51 young, honey. Yes.
Oh, my Lord. Okay. I thought you were even younger than that, but still. And you don't even smoke. So all of a sudden, it's this news. What?
That is the crazy thing. Yeah, my doctor was like, he says more and more we're finding women who don't smoke, who are pretty healthy, that take care of themselves, winding up with lung cancer. He says it starts in the lung and it doesn't spread in the lung, but that's where it's housed. And then it spreads to other parts of your body. And he goes, 9 times out of 10, you don't know until it's pretty much stage 3, stage 4, because it's spread and you start feeling the effects of it. That's the problem.
That's horrific.
Yeah, it's crazy. But, I told him it was the funniest thing, too, because the day I found out, you're in shock. You just don't know what to do. You think you're hearing something that doesn't apply to you. But as a few days went on and I let my family and all them know, I went back to my doctor and I said, look, you got to find a way to make me feel good, because I just ordered some new wigs on Amazon that are going to be delivered that I need to wear, and I got shoes I ain't wore yet. So Diva ain't going nowhere. I got to get well.
Diva has goals.
I do. I was like, I got to get well. So I told him, tell me what you need me to do, and I'll do it, because I plan on being here for a while. Ain't going nowhere.
And you're doing well, right? I know you're recovering. What's up with that?
Yes, I am doing a lot better. I'm 8 months in, and I started in December with radiation at 94 pounds, and now I'm about 135 pounds right now, so I've gained some weight. My muscles are doing better. I got more mobility. I still receive chemo every 3 weeks until the end of the year, because my doctor's like, it's working. We're seeing great results. It's shrinking. It's not spreading, but we want to continue this just to monitor you. So, every couple of months they do a full body scan, but things are looking good. I'm feeling good. But besides, just getting the chemo and the basic blood tests and the different types of procedures they go through to just sort of stay on top of things and monitor me. Outside of that, I'm feeling good. I'm slowly starting to get back into normalcy, quote unquote, with my life. So that's going good, and I'm very thankful for it. Very thankful.
I can only imagine. How has all this affected your comedy?
Well, I had to put my comedy on hold, and just to kind of get my body back right, because through the process of this, I went through, in December, 30 days of radiation, started chemo in January. Then I had to have a biopsy on my lung. I had to have surgery on my spine because my disc started to collapse because the cancer was getting through my lumbars and my spine. So they had to go in and do a procedure to kind of help me out there, to give me some relief. And as I was healing, I couldn't really move the way I would normally want to on stage, and I'm pretty animated, so I would like to, move the way I wanted to, so I had to put all that on hold. And then I had to get the port put in, what they put in your chest. Most cancer patients have a port so they can receive their chemo, so they don't have to go through your veins. So I had to get that put in as well, on top of just being, monitored for other little things that they do with blood work and x-ray visits and body scans and stuff like that to keep on top of it. But now, like I said, 8 months in, and I'm feeling more like myself. I've been able to start exercising and walking and lightly riding my bike and just getting that momentum and stuff back. But yeah, I just put the comedy on hold for a minute, but I would go to a comedy show here and there, when I could, and just kind of keep myself in that loop and presence and around the humor and stuff, because it's so healing. And, you just get out there and you laugh and you feel good. But slowly now I'm, going to start next Friday. Actually, I have a comedy show I'm going to be doing, and it's going to be good here in Chandler. So I'm excited about that.
That's super exciting. Because how long have you been out now, off stage?
I've been off stage almost a year.
Oh, my Lord.
I know. Isn't it crazy?
That's hurtful.
Almost a year.
Yeah.
Insane.
Oh, no.
But it's like riding a bike, I feel. I'm going to be able to get it back, and I have a whole, different perspective on things and new stories to tell. So I'm excited about it. It'll be good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And are you working with some local organizations who advocate for cancer survivors?
I am. I've been volunteering here and there, but I just got myself linked up with an organization called Hope Women's Center, and they help women who are in transition. Some have come from domestic violence, others are homeless. And then, for me, I've been my own cheerleader, my own self-motivator, and I've always been a positive person my whole life and tried to look at the bright side of things. So now I'm going to be putting together a workshop to help these ladies understand, ways to boost their self-esteem and let them know that they have something to contribute, they are special, and just how to, get themselves on the right track of positivity. And then I am going to be doing some work with the American Cancer Society here. I've met an amazing representative, and we've been talking on the phone, and we're actually going to meet up probably in about a week or so and see what we can do together. And they have some events coming up that they want me to be a part of. So I'm super excited because, like I said, it's opened up new doors of communication and opportunity for me to learn and grow, but also just, share my talents and my enthusiasm and hopefully, brighten somebody's day, because it's not the easiest thing to go through. And not everybody has the outlook that I do, but if you can just make someone's day a little brighter, that's, what it's all about, just giving back and helping out.
Now, I completely agree with you, but you did mention something that I think is intriguing and very valid. You're a very positive person. A lot of people don't have that enthusiasm that you have. So what you're doing is actually trying to promote somebody to think more positively about their outlook.
Absolutely, because it's helped me, and I see the power of it. I mean, because you have two choices in life pretty much. You can either frown and be upset and nothing ever changes and you still got to deal with the issue, or you can look at the bright side of it and be positive and push through, and before you know it, it's not as bad as it may seem initially, and you get over that hump a lot smoother, and then more people tend to gravitate towards you, and that's what you need. You need that response. You need that support. And you also need that mental clarity, and that's what's helped me by being positive. It's given me mental clarity to get through this process, because it is very daunting. I mean, someone tells you you have stage 4 lung cancer as a non-smoker, and it's spread to your lower spine, your pelvis, and the top of your right shoulder.
That's
after
crazy.
You've been healthy, yes, and not smoking. I mean, so you have to find the humor in it. You have to find the positive light in it, and you just got to push forward. And before you know it, it's mind over matter, and your body starts responding to that. And it's a healing mechanism, and that's how I've been using it for myself and hopefully for others. That's why I do the YouTube videos. That's why, once I get up on stage, I'll be able to share some little insight and stories, and it's just good. I mean, I'd rather, I ain't got time for ulcers and pain and all that. I'd rather be happy and, and just smile and just, make the most of it.
Your YouTube videos are great.
Thanks.
Yeah, they're really, really wonderful. What inspired you to start that?
Well, because I work in media, and I always have, and the fact that, I have a platform here being on TV almost every day, I figured, why not share it? Because I'm going through it, and I had a lot of comedians as well as friends and community rally around me, support me by, donating and helping out or coming out to the charity benefit shows that they put together with my comedian friends. I said the least I could do is give them some insight as to exactly what is going on. I mean, because nobody really talks about it a lot of times, and so you're lost in the shuffle, and you just hear of people having cancer like I did, and I was ignorant to it because I didn't know all the facets that go along with it. I mean, the changes in your body, the multiple doctor appointments, the poking, the prodding, the level of, invasion, the independence that's taken away from you, not to mention the doggone constipation, child. Oh,
that's
Lord,
not fun.
Constipation.
That's not fun.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I had no idea because I was a healthy person, so I never really had to take medicine. So having so much medicine at one time just really backs you up. And when you can't go, girl, that is the worst feeling in the world. I was like, you know what? If I had money to pay somebody to just deplug this system of mine, I would be shuffling out millions right now.
That will make a lady grumpy.
Right. It is crazy, but yeah, there's so many levels to it, and so I was just trying to, open people's eyes, give them a little insight as to, my personal journey, what I was going through, and if they know someone who's going through cancer, just be a little bit more empathetic and help them out. And I always emphasize, hey, if you say you're going to call somebody, call that person. If you say you're going to take them to coffee, do it. Don't put it off, because they're dealing with something so daunting, and tomorrow is not promised when you have a diagnosis like this.
Last week's guest was talking about empathy gap and about how we don't relate to one another, and we have a lack of compassion toward other human beings because we have a gap in empathy. So what you're saying makes complete sense. Like, just consider the agreements you're making with somebody. Consider what they're going through. It doesn't take a lot of effort just to make someone feel important.
No, it doesn't. Not at all. And sometimes, just sending someone a text, say, hey, I was just thinking about you today. Hope you're having a good day. If I can do anything for you, just let me know. Boom, done. And then it just brightens someone's day. Like, oh my gosh, that was so nice. Or I really needed that today because I'm feeling terrible. At least somebody's thinking about me. So it's just the little things in life. And a lot of times, because we live in this tech savvy world and people don't communicate like they used to, all we're asking is just have a little bit of compassion and communication. It goes a long way.
Yeah.
And it's free.
It's only an investment of time and a little bit of heart. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Have you always been a positive person, Diva?
I have. I'm the oldest of four. And, when you're the oldest, at least for me, you have the most responsibility. So you have to make choices and decisions, and I was pretty much always a person that was organized and liked to take care of things, but I like to do it while having fun. I never wanted it to be work, so I always tried to find the positive outlook on it, just try to have some fun with it, and I've never needed anybody to be my source of motivation. I would always be a go-getter, and people always say, how can you go somewhere by yourself? I said, because I'm not by myself. Once you walk into a room, there's a bunch of people there. Just start talking before you know it. You've got a new friend. And I'm that person, and a lot of people aren't, and I understand that, but if I could just help you a little bit get out of your shell and just see the bigger picture, it'll just open up your world, and you'll just see things a little different, and it helps you relax and feel a little bit better. So it's good. It's always good.
Yeah, it is, but that's hard, like you said. It's hard for a lot of people to accept that.
We get
shy. People get shy. People have self-esteem issues. People have been hurt, and people also, they don't want to be rejected, so we get all weird with these new social situations. But what you're dealing with kind of puts all that stuff in such an extreme nothingness, doesn't it? Like, you're facing life and death, and you're beating the odds.
Right, absolutely. And it's just one of those things where like they say tomorrow is never promised, which is so true. But for me, I lived a really fun life that was jam-packed. Like, I was finishing school. I'm on TV every day, and then I was working on, the comedy stuff and going places and doing things with it and volunteering in the community. I was never home. I was just go, go, go. And parts of me was probably, needed to slow down. And then, so this kind of really made me slow down and really start looking at things differently and appreciating sometimes, even though you have a lot of love in your life, just appreciating those connections. And it's brought me, closer to family members and different friends. And it just makes you look at your life and your time and what you're doing very different.
Diva, you're super mindful. You know what I mean? Like, most people can't accept all that stuff and just keep pummeling through.
Yeah, and it's hard, but it's also too what you've kind of gone through in life and the things that you've dealt with and had to overcome. It all really does make you stronger. And like I always tell people, you have choices, and I always choose to just be happy. And then people always say, well, don't you ever get mad? And I said, of course I get mad. I get frustrated. I get upset, but I don't let it rule me, and I don't let it ruin my whole day. I give myself time to get through that, and then I snap out of it. because tomorrow is a new day. This will be behind me, and I need to move forward and figure out how I can, address what I'm dealing with for that moment, because you don't want it to be so heavy on you, because it does. It causes ulcers, and it's just a mess. That's why I always tell people when I'm, here, I love to go hiking. I would go hiking like 3 days a week. Just being outside in the fresh air, it clears your head. I said, who needs to pay for therapy when we got these beautiful mountains here in Arizona? Mm-hmm. And you can hike them, and you can sweat and release those toxins and let your frustrations out. And not only that, you see people that you haven't seen who are probably going through something way worse than you on the mountain. Someone's got a divorce. Someone might have just found out that, they had a miscarriage, in the family, or something happened to a loved one. So, it puts things into perspective, and it just makes you appreciate what you have. And it's not that big of a deal 9 times out of 10, even though we like to look at it as the biggest thing in the world. And I just looked at this as, you know what, well, I'll do what my doctors tell me to do, because if I tell myself, because I'm a firm believer in if you see it, believe it, you can achieve it. So I saw the problem after, not being able to move and my back hurting. Then I was believing what they were telling me. And I said, well, you know what, I'm going to achieve the good from this, and I'm going to come out on the other side. Not sure how long I'm going to have after I, get back to normal, because, things happen in your life and you can relapse and all that. And I said, but I'm going to work really hard to make sure I do everything on my end to feel good, look good, be good, and go through this process, with an optimism and a positive outcome. And so far, I'm just healing great. And my doctor says, we don't see results like this. You don't understand. As a physician, I'm so happy with you. And he goes, we never know what to expect with you, because 1, you're crazy. And 2, he goes, you're like the best dressed patient I have. He goes, you come to cancer chemo appointments, your hair's done, your makeup's on, you're wearing high heel shoes. And I said, oh yes, honey, you got to be ready. I said, this is a medical facility. There's some doctors coming around the corner. I'm a single woman. I got to be on point 24/7, okay? So it's been good. You just got to look at the positive and make it your own and have fun with it.
Yeah, I love what you mentioned too about going out hiking and just being outside and getting that fresh air and releasing all that toxin through the sweat and feeling good about being part of something bigger than we are.
Absolutely, because, we are so small when you think of it in the scheme of things, but you do. And I tell my friends, don't pay for therapy. Don't get caught up in the drama. Just go on a hike. You'll be amazed at what it'll do for your body. You start sweating. Before you know it, you're not even thinking about your problems or issues. You're concentrating on not stepping on the wrong rock. And before you know it, you've had a great time, and you've, maybe made some new friends, and you feel good.
No, it's very true. When I was going through my divorce, I actually hiked a lot of mountains in Arizona, ironically enough.
I love it.
I feel you on a soul level with that information. But I would recommend to anybody listening, bring a map with you, because you can get lost in those mountains and jeopardize yourself.
Absolutely. It could be a little tricky, but it's fun. We have a beautiful backdrop here, and it's all free to go hiking, and all it takes is a little time and just a little effort. That's it.
You're so amazing, Diva. How do we find you on YouTube? I know you're making videos to inspire other people who are combating and winning cancer. How do we find you? How do we find you?
You can find me on YouTube. It's under the letter D. It's D Entertainment Diva. So it's all one word, the letter D Entertainment Diva. That's my YouTube. And then my comedy is under my name, Danielle Williams, The Comedy Diva. I have 2 YouTubes, so it'll be good. You can watch some comedy. You can watch the videos I put up on my entertainment page, on just my journal of how I'm dealing with this stage 4 lung cancer. And it's good.
Well, I urge everybody listening to come check you out. You're very, very funny and very engaging and very authentic.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, you got to live your best life and put forth that effort, and I choose to be happy.
A lot of people don't do that. So thank you for kind of showing us all the way. And I wish you the very best with your upcoming gig and your continued success. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm so happy to be on your podcast. Keep doing the work you're doing, because you're helping people and informing them. And I just, going to continue on my road to taking care of myself and being optimistic and volunteering here in the community and trying to give back the best I can. And hopefully, down the road, I'll be talking to you years from now, and I'll be like, girl, remember when I had lung cancer? So it's all good.
And I'll be like, yeah, that's how you found that doctor husband, right?
Right? You hear me, girl, loud and clear. I'm putting it out in the universe.
Thanks, y'all, for listening. Please come back to next Womanist Wednesday. You can find me on my website, lisalandry.com. Shout out Ari. I love you, little boo-boo.